This hour of the show is brought to you by Tufton Needle, the highest-rated custom foam mattress in the world, with prices starting at $350 and free delivery. Try it for 100 nights risk-free. Check them out at tuftonneedle.com. Debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. You call in, we'll talk to you about your life and your money. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. You jump in, we'll talk about your life and your money. By the way, if you did not know, you can also follow us on Twitter, at Dave Ramsey. The show has its own Twitter handle, at Ramsey Show, as well. We do have a lot of action going all the time on Twitter. Lots of interaction with you guys. We almost use Twitter instead of email these days in terms of interacting with our listeners and picking up questions and that kind of thing. Also, Facebook. There's about 630-something thousand following me on Twitter. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Dave Ramsey, about 2.8 million there. Not nearly as interactive per person, but there's lots of people hanging out there. And lots of good content and other things are laid out there, for you to learn about and good place, good instruction and that kind of thing. So usually my routine is I get up at 5, and Sharon and I read through several news blogs and different things, and sometimes we'll talk about, what's going on in the news. We laugh because we sit and look at our computers, and that kind of feels like we're not relational, but really that's how you read the paper nowadays. And so we're sitting with our machines in our lap with a cup of coffee, sitting there at 5 o'clock in the morning. The sun's coming up, and we're reading through those. And I'll jump through and check emails that came in overnight. I can't keep from doing that. And I'll jump through and check, what's happening on Twitter for the fun of it. And so, I was reading through the Twitter feed this morning. This guy asked a great question. It was actually a little bit later in the morning than that when I jumped back over on there. But he said, in our Bible study this morning, we were talking about this. He said, what's the difference between ambition and discontentment? Great question. And, I think what happens is around the whole subject of contentment or ambition, oftentimes Christians get a serious level of weirdness going on. You get screwed up, as if it's wrong to be ambitious as a Christian. As if you're ambitious or you're a go-getter, you're someone that gets things done, that somehow that indicates you're not content. And so you can't confuse sitting on your butt with contentment. They're not the same thing. Paul said, I've learned to be content in all things. When I'm in plenty and when I have lack. And the Bible says, do nothing out of selfish ambition. And so I thought it was a really good question that this guy's asking, because I think a lot of people, particularly those that run in the groups that I run in, the evangelical Christian group, really get this whole thing screwed up. As if being ambitious means automatically you're discontent. Now, so here's what I thought about. Number one, some people that are ambitious for the wrong reasons. The thing that's driving their ambition is some kind of broken place in them, and that could be discontentment. So some ambition is driven by discontentment, and that is not good ambition. Some ambition is selfish ambition. It's ambition to gather up just a pile of stuff for me. That's stuffitis. And Bible speaks directly to that. Do nothing out of selfish ambition. But there are positive types of ambition as well that have nothing to do with discontentment, in the sense of I'm not contented in my own life. But what if you said, I'm ambitious to, I've got a friend of mine who is a big-time national politician that's a Christian. And I asked him one time why he does that, because he makes no money, and he puts up with unbelievable crap off of you people. And he hardly ever gets anything done, because doing stuff as a politician is just ridiculous. It's very hard to get things done. And he said, I feel like God has called me into this role. Well, I'm not arguing with that. And he said, the things that I can get done, I can get good things done that I couldn't get done were I in business instead of politics. And so I see this as an act of service. And so what is his ambition? Well, if he's telling the truth, and I know him well enough to know that he is telling the truth, in his case, he's got an ambition to help change the nation for the good. That's a positive ambition. What if you're a teacher and you're an ambitious teacher, and your ambition is to make sure that the kids in your classroom read, and you're more ambitious than any other teacher about that? That's not selfish ambition. That's ambition for others. It's ambition for changing the lives of those kids. What if you're a counselor and your ambition is to try to save marriages, and you do marriage counseling? It's wonderful ambition. And so all ambition is not negative, and all ambition is not paradoxical to someone that is a person of faith. Because sometimes we feel, the dumbing down of people in Christianity sometimes is just ridiculous. By that I mean we're told, well, you just have to, you have to be humble. And what it is, they don't even know what humble is. What they mean is you have to be humiliated. You have to be a worm. I'm just a worm. Well, I'm not a worm. I'm a child of God. You might be a worm, but I'm not a worm. And I was made for something great. And it says that clearly in Scripture, but we don't gravitate to those kinds of scriptures often enough. Instead, we gravitate to them that says, "Oh, I'm a sinner." Yeah, we are saved by grace, by goodness. Hello. Think about that. I'm an overcomer, is what I am. And so, I don't want us to say that people who get things done aren't spiritual people. People who have confidence aren't spiritual people. You should have confidence. You shouldn't have arrogance, but some of you can't tell the difference. I get emails all the time. You're so arrogant. You're just arrogant. How can you say you're a Christian? You're so arrogant. People put that crap, the haters put that crap on Twitter all the time. And you know what? It's just because you can't tell the difference between arrogance and confidence. And you haven't met anybody that was confident in so long, you don't know how to act when you do meet one. Because most people walk around looking like they were weaned on a pickle. Hey, if you're happy, notify your face. Try smiling. It's a good idea. Do nothing out of selfish ambition. But here's a challenge for you. Be excellent. Be passionate about your excellence. Be ambitious in your service to your family. Be an ambitious husband in how you serve your wife. Be an ambitious wife in how you serve your husband. Be ambitious in your parenting. Be ambitious in your career, that you go and you do good for others in the marketplace. And be ambitious when you cash the check. And don't apologize for winning anymore. See, that's cool. That's different than discontentment. Great question. Thanks for tweeting that to me. I appreciate it. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Businesses that know how to do it right. Well, Tufton Needle is one of those businesses. If you haven't heard about them, they're a mattress company, but not just any mattress company. Tufton Needle offers a refreshing mattress buying experience. They educate their customers while keeping it simple. But the fact is, Tufton Needle is the highest rated mattress in the world. They're made with their own custom foam backed by a risk-free 100-night sleep trial and made right here in America, with prices starting at $350 and free delivery. Check them out at TuftonNeedle.com. Thank you for joining us, America. Mark is with us in Grand Junction. Hey, Mark, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. Mark. Well, I have to push the button a little better. Didn't push it good. Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing better now that I pushed the button enough to hear you. What's up? How can I help?
So I am one of 3 doctors in a small yet pretty successful medical practice. Doctor number 1 essentially founded it 40 years ago, and he owns 95% of the business. I've been here for about 13, 14 years, and I'm buying in. I own about 5%. Doctor number 3 has been with us for about 5 years and now is starting to get the opportunity to buy in himself. Like any other business, this is the definition of commission-based, eat what you kill kind of income. Take care of your customers, take care of your patients, build good, solid relationships over long periods of time, and you essentially reap what you sow. Mm-hmm. So our problem is doctor number 3 seems to, at times, lack the fire necessary to take his practice to the next level. He seems perfectly comfortable to just do the minimum, go with the flow, and unfortunately this type of attitude is picked up on by those around him, both staff and patients alike. So ultimately, I'm not looking to pick on him specifically, but I've always been the type that led by example. And how do you deal with people or individuals who don't pick up on those examples? And how can I start this conversation with somebody who eventually will be a business partner?
Do you have provisions in the business partnership process for performance?
No, it's kind of a...
So you don't have a way to separate from him based on this misbehavior?
No.
Okay.
This is...
I'm going to give you a real low probability of winning at this then.
Yeah.
Because people ask me all the time, how do you motivate people? I tell them I don't. I hire motivated people.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I mean, it's a whole lot easier to direct a horse that's already running than trying to turn a donkey into a thoroughbred.
Yeah.
And so now that if you had some sort of control over him in terms of, if you don't meet these metrics and meet these guidelines, then you will be separating from us. Then, then that's different. Then you can bring it up on that basis and say, this is not heading the right way. And then, if not, you've got to ask yourself, long term, is this where you want to be?
Yeah. Well, long term, the office is where I want to be.
I'm saying in this relationship, though, you may have to separate from that office to get that relationship gone.
Yeah.
Because he's going to infect everything around there, the nurses, the staff, and people will slide to the lowest common denominator by and large. And so you have to keep your lowest common denominator a high-performance person of excellence in order to have a culture of excellence in the office, right?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
so, I mean, you could talk to him about that kind of thing, but, if this guy was dating your daughter, you would tell her not to marry him.
Yeah.
And you're already married is the problem.
Yeah, true.
And the terms of the marriage contract don't give you a lot of teeth, it doesn't sound like. Now, I don't know how this is all put together, but if doctor number 1 owns 95%, does he have the ability to fire him?
He does. Our office, I guess you could say, is a different kind of scenario in that, for lack of a better term, it's kind of it's a family.
What about old doc? Would he understand your concerns and agree with them?
Oh, he understands.
Would he act on it?
I don't know.
I would ask him to sit down, and the two of you, if like the parents have to be on the same page before you talk to the teenager. You guys got to get your story straight, and then you need to sit down and coach this younger guy and say, look, dude, here's how this works, and you're not working it that way. And in order for you to stay here, the two of us have decided that, because doctor number 1 does have the ability to say that you've got to meet these metrics of performance and attitude. And we'll coach you and we'll walk with you. This is not a threatening thing, but, the way we're going is not going to continue. It's either going to get better or you're going to have to leave.
Okay.
And you can say that a lot of different ways, but that message has to be delivered. Yeah. And here's the problem. Old doctor number 1 does not like confrontation. He's on his way out.
You're exactly right.
But he has the ability to fix this, and you have to. That's the persuasive piece you need to do to get him to understand how important this is. Let me send you this. I'm going to send you 3 copies of our book, Entree Leadership.
Oh, okay.
It has a lot of stuff in it about building culture of loyalty, building a culture of excellence, and even hiring and firing. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I've found is that you're frustrated with this right now. I mean, you're still very sophisticated in your language, so you're not so mad you're not thinking, but it's going to boil over at some point, and it's going to steal your joy. Worse, if it doesn't get better, it's going to get worse. So, I mean, it's just like what you treat in the medical world. And so I would tell you the thing I learned, and I would tell doctor number 1 particularly this, I would if I were talking to him, the thing I've learned the hard way in building that culture of excellence is that to be unclear is ultimately to be unkind. Yeah. I have to be clear with this younger guy because otherwise I'm just trying to put mayonnaise enough on this stale bread that it's going to work, and it's still going to be stale bread. So I've got to be clear enough with him to give him the opportunity to make this a workable relationship. Okay. And when I've got a team member here that's not performing, it's exactly how I treat it. I want to serve that team member by giving them every opportunity to turn around and be what we need them to be in order to stay here. But in order to do that, I have to be very clear. I can't be so sugar-coated and sweet that I don't have to be mean, but I do need to be what feels kind of blunt. Yeah. And do it with low tones and kindness, but in a loving approach. But still, at the end of the day, you have to do this, this, and this to get to stay. And we have to have that conversation around here sometimes. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Thanks for the call. Hang on. Kelly will pick up. We'll send you 3 copies of Entree Leadership. Tracy's in Tacoma, Washington. Hi, Tracy. How are you?
I am doing awesome. I am so excited to talk to you.
You too. What's up?
All right. So my husband and I just had our first child in the middle of January.
Yay.
And I read The Total Money Makeover before he was born. After he was born, we've read out loud The Legacy Journey, and we're in the middle of reading out loud Smart Money, Smart Kids.
Wow.
We're using the Every Dollar Plus, and it is awesome.
Wow.
And my question is, we just paid off our last credit card today, so we still have $3,300 to pay off the baby.
Yay! You're
and
going
then once
great.
we say, we're very excited to be almost done. And then once we get our emergency fund set up, our 3 to 6 months, I was wondering, because you talk about the 529s or the ESAs for kids' college, but what would be the difference between doing that, which I think the 529 you mentioned go into mutual funds that you can manage. So what's the difference between doing that and just putting it into mutual funds that we could potentially take out, like if he was to get married or things like that?
The difference is the taxation on the growth.
Okay.
So let me give you an example with the ESA because I have that one memorized for a baby. Okay?
Okay.
You're allowed to put $2,000 a year in. If you did that for 18 years, 2,000 times 18 would be 36,000 you have put in.
Okay.
If that's invested in a good growth stock mutual fund, it would have grown to around 126,000. 36 of which you put in, which means there's $90,000 in there in growth.
Okay.
That $90,000 is tax-free.
Oh.
Otherwise, you would have paid taxes on that $90,000 as it grew, and it wouldn't be $90,000. But if we just did it in a lump sum at the end, if it was taxable, I mean, it'd be $40,000 out of your $90,000, right?
Okay. So, all right. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for the clarification.
Absolutely. That tax-free growth is why we recommend the ESA, funded with good growth stock mutual funds for your kids' college. Great question, Tracy. You got everything running. Thank you so much. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Dental care is something everyone needs, but you typically have two choices. Overpay for dental insurance or spend way too much money if you are self-pay. OneDentalcom is your solution. They are not dental insurance. They're like a Costco for dental services. Pay a small amount annually to get access to their nationwide network of dentists. Find a dentist in your area and only pay One Dental's pre-negotiated rates. Use it immediately and as often as you want. Know what you're paying before you go. Start your membership today at OneDental.com. That's OneDental.com.
In the lobby of Financial Peace Plaza, also known as the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, they're here to do their debt-free scream, Bryan and Stephanie. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you, Dave?
Very good.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. So how much debt have you guys paid off?
Well, we paid $76,661.
I love it. And how long did it take you to do that?
589 days. Which is about 19 months.
All right, thank you. I was going to have to put that in the calculator. My brain is just swimming. All right, and making what kind of money during that time?
Starting at 139, moving up to 149.
Way to go. What do you guys do for a living?
I am a programmer analyst.
And I'm a client account manager for a software company.
Oh, very cool. Both of you in the software business. Where are you from?
We're from Marshfield, Wisconsin.
Which is near?
About 2 hours north of Madison.
Okay, a little bit north of Madison. All right, very fun. Well, good to have you. And you got the whole gang with you here. Tell us who's with you.
All right, we have our son Alex and son Eli, Marcus, Samuel, and our daughter Karis.
All right, fun. So what got you guys started on this get-out-of-debt journey 19 months ago?
Well, it came down to whenever I would go into the store and swipe my card, and I would sit there and just stare at the machine and go, please be approved, please be approved, please be approved. And I knew I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And we initially started it on our own. So I think for probably about 4 or 5 months, we thought, we can figure this out. And, into that, we were still using the credit cards and not making much of a dent into any of our debt.
And then you connected with us somehow?
That's right. We have a number of friends that have gone through Financial Peace. And then where I work, actually one of the physicians that would come and go, I'd often notice that he was driving a really old car. And I often thought, oh, that's so odd. Why is he driving a car like that when you see a lot of the other physicians driving really nice cars? And found out that they're doing Financial Peace and thought, they were really willing to pay a price. And so we thought we'd give it a shot.
Okay. So you went through the class, Financial Peace University?
Actually,
No,
we did not.
We did not.
We went the Total Money Makeover book. We read
That's fine.
that.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, good. So what kind of debt was the $77,000?
All kinds. We tried to cover everything, and so we had credit cards, we had some medical debt, we had all auto loans. At some point, we had borrowed from my 401k as well, so we had that to pay back.
Wow, okay. A little bit of everything. What was the one debt that when you paid it off, you went, I hate you people, I'm so glad you're gone?
I would say it was the 401k loan.
The 401k, which was our last one.
Yeah, okay. The big one at the end, yeah. Okay. Getting rid of that was a big relief then.
Absolutely.
Fine. So what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is now that you've actually done this?
Well, for us, I think it's just staying focused. Once you establish the budget, which we didn't have before, and once we had that written budget out, and just to stay focused on it. And we just, at times when one of us would decide to sway to the side a little bit, it was a good partnership that we were able to pull each other back to the middle and stay focused on it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what do you say, Stephanie? What do you say the secret to getting out of debt is?
I think working together as a team, that really made a big difference.
Yeah.
We would sit down each time and work on the budget. It certainly got easier as time went on. That it was more autopilot. But nonetheless, I think working together and totally being on the same team made all the difference.
Very cool. Well, congratulations. How's it feel?
Fantastic.
How long you guys been married?
18 years.
18 years. Have you ever been debt-free during the marriage until now?
Never.
Nope.
Never.
Nope.
Man, that's amazing. So your adult life?
Yeah.
Here you are.
Exactly
You're free.
right. Yeah.
I'm proud of you. Way to go, guys.
Thank
Now, did
you.
the kids get involved, or they just here know a lot?
They had to get involved. They had to give up a lot. They were involved in lots of activities, and we pulled back on quite a few of those invitations that we would turn down. They definitely had to help us through the process.
They understood it. They, at times they would ask, well, we want this or we want to do this, and then they would immediately stop and say, oh, wait a minute, what would Dave say? So they knew, they got it.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
That's fun. Well, congratulations. All right, gang up, guys. We want to hear a great family debt-free scream. Bryan and Stephanie, Alex, Marcus, Eli, Sam, and Karis. Awesome. Very cool. $77,000 paid off in 19 months, making $139 a year. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Way to go, you guys. Very, very well done. That is fun. Very fun. All right, Sue is with us in Portland, Maine. Hi, Sue. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, we are about $20,000 to $30,000 upside down in our previous home. Our intention was to rent it out, and we knew we were upside down in it. When we first bought it, it was worth about $250,000. That was the appraisal.
Mm-hmm.
Things didn't go well, and we really wanted to sell the house. Tried for like 5 years, couldn't do it. And then my husband and I finally just decided we're going to buy another place, rent it out until we can sell it, so we can just move on with our lives.
All right.
So now the house needs a new roof. It's got interior water damage. We're still probably $15,000 upside down.
Why does it have interior water damage?
Because of the roof. Yeah, and initially it was like, well, the tenants were telling us there's a little bit of damage because...
Where is the house?
It's probably 30 minutes away. It's in Maine, 30 minutes away from
All right,
where...
so it's near you then. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it is.
What's your household income?
Between $120,000 and $150,000 a year.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess you're going to put a roof on it either way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you have any money saved?
We've got about $10,000 in an emergency fund. We have $230,000 401k.
Mm-hmm.
And we already have a 401k loan out for $27,000. I got to tell you, initially when we lived in this other house and we were on your plan, we were debt-free, except for the house. I'm so mad at myself.
What was the $27,000 to buy the down payment on the other house?
Yeah, it was. And, the original 401k loan was to make the down payment on this house, but then we redid that loan because we just put $7,000 into the other house for structural damage in the front, which happened to be due to water coming in. So the house needs a new roof. No doubt about it.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. Right? You got to put a roof on it. I mean, that and then you got to, decide to manage the rental aspects of this better to make sure that the house is, kept up. Part of managing a rental is you do a physical inspection once a quarter. You walk through the house.
Right.
You don't have a rental that you don't do that with. A human being needs to walk through the house that's on your team once a quarter and see what's going on in your house. And that keeps a tenant from tearing the place down, and you didn't realize it was going on. In this case, they told you it was a leak, and you didn't react because you didn't think it was as bad as it was.
Right.
So now you've got extra damage you got to fix. But have you got a bid on the roof?
At $10,000.
Ta-da! Yep. Yeah. And what's your household income again?
Between $120,000 and $150,000.
Okay. Are you putting money in your 401k?
My husband is, and he does not want to stop that because, for example...
Well, that's just freaking brilliant, as broke as you are.
I know.
I don't give a crap what he thinks. He's wrong. You need to stop putting money in your 401k. You're broke. You have no money except your $210,000 in retirement. You have a $27,000 debt, and you have a rental property you've not been keeping up. So, you need to really get yourself on a tight budget. You guys make enough money to straighten this up. You're being sloppy with your money, and you're trying to run stuff the wrong way. You need some cash. You need $25,000 in cash as fast as you can get it. And you need to pay off this 401k loan before you even start talking about doing any investing. And you got to get rid of this rental. So, hey, it's time for you guys to quit playing around with this and step on it. You make $120 a year. So get organized, get yourself on a beans and rice and beans budget, stop the 401k, take the $10,000, fix the roof, and let's get business in gear here. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day is the home scripture for the book for the Legacy Journey book. The Legacy Journey book. Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous. Turns out inheritances are biblical. Well, they're all in the Bible, too. Warren Buffett says someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. That's exactly right. Robin is with us in Flint, Michigan. Hey, Robin, how are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I am confused about what I need to do. I've worked the baby steps. I've paid off everything but my home. I have $32,000 in the bank, but I'm living in an area that I really feel I need to be out of. I don't know if I should pay this home off or go ahead and purchase another home and rent this home out.
If you need to be out of there, why do you need to be out of there? Because it's a bad area?
It's getting dangerous. There's home raids, drug dealing, people.
Yeah, you don't keep that as a rental. You sell that.
Okay, but I owe just under $50,000, and I might get $24,000 or $25,000 out of it. I don't know what to do.
Do you have the money? You have the difference?
No, I only have $32,000. I owe $50,000.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to rent it until you can save up the difference, because it's probably not going to go up a lot in value.
No, it's not. Not in this area. It's in Flint.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you're describing an area that's not appreciating because they've got crime problems and everything else, and so
right. It wasn't this bad about 10 years ago, but the last couple of years it's gotten bad. My house has already taken bullets, so I'm not sure what I should do.
I'm out of there. I'm going to rent something and then rent that until you can get the money together to save it up to pay the difference and get rid of that house.
Okay, so you suggest not purchasing another home until this is paid off.
Yeah, I wouldn't get it paid off. I'd get rid of it. But until you get rid of it, yeah. How much? And you owe how much on it? You said $50,000?
Just under $50,000, yeah.
And what's your household income?
I make about $34,000 a year.
And you have how much saved? Any?
I have $32,000
saved. What kind of a loan is this? FHA, VA, conventional?
The home I have is an FHA.
You know, for the fun of it, I would call the Department of Housing and Urban Development there in Detroit and see if they have any kind of a program going right now where you can buy your way out of this mortgage for less than the payoff because the value is so low and it's such the neighborhood is blighted, and see if they don't have a program of some kind to help you with this. And I would push on them pretty hard. But yeah, I don't. If you're getting bullets in your house, you leave. That's what you do, and you rent it. You rent it if you can't, and try to get try to get it sold. If you can't get it sold, you may end up losing it to the blight of the neighborhood. But HUD may have some relief for you. An FHA loan is governed by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. It's federal employees, okay? And there should be a HUD office in Detroit.
Okay.
And so just look it up, online, get the phone number, call and ask for a counselor there. Say, this is what I've got. I make $34,000 a year. I need some help. And, I'm a single lady. I'm living here. I got bullets coming in my house. I'm getting ready to hand you people the keys to this thing back. and so, but I'm willing to pay something on this, some of this difference. But if I can get $25 for it, we want you guys to accept the $25. Do you have a program that does that? Maybe they'll do a short sale of some kind with you. Maybe they have that type of a program on something. It's possible. And let me just tell you, because of the economic problems in your area that are so devastating that have affected a lot of these neighborhoods, I would be shocked if HUD does not have some kind of a program.
Okay. If they do a short sale type thing, though, can't they come back and sue me for the remainder of what wasn't paid off on it or not?
HUD doesn't, as a matter of practice.
Okay.
They don't. And so that's the good news. And so, but if you could get 25 for it, you have 30 in the bank, you could write a check for the difference, right?
Right, and then that puts me at nothing.
At nothing, but at nothing, but you're also out of this mess. So that's like your worst case scenario. But
Okay.
you know, technically speaking, HUD won't chase you for a deficit on a foreclosure. So I'm not going to recommend this, but you need to know that you could toss them the keys and go, I'm not paying any more on it. Heck with it. And they foreclose and it screws up.
Right.
Yeah, they foreclose, it screws up your credit, but they don't chase deficits. Now, your credit would be screwed up, and you've walked away from an obligation. Those are two things I'm not going to recommend. I'm going to try everything in the world first. But if this continues to go down the toilet, you may be faced with that as an option.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying not to do that, too. It's just really hard getting forwards, and I just sleep working in the hospital. It's just not working.
Yeah, I'm out of there. I'm moving out of it and put a renter in it while you're working on this. Or call HUD. Call HUD this week and find out what you can do first. But I'm not sticking around there for very long. I mean, you know, by the end of the month, end of next month, I'm going to be doing something different if I'm in your shoes. I wouldn't tell you to stay in that. It's not safe. And it's not worth it to fight and to die over this house. That just doesn't make sense. Not at all. Sandy is with us in Philadelphia. Hi, Sandy. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Me and my husband are in a disagreement. We have some private company stock that we're going to have an option to sell if we wanted to in a couple months. And I wanted your opinion on...
What kind of private company?
It's a privately held company that he's been working at for a long time. So through stock options, we've acquired them.
Okay. Is it large or small?
Well, the company itself?
Yes.
I would say medium. We have lots of other shares. We've been holding them for years, thinking that they would go public at some point.
Yeah.
And it's getting to the point where we keep saying within the next few years they've got to do something.
Mm-hmm. But they never have.
They have. It's family owned and then close employees. Mm-hmm. So the family is getting in their upper 50s. Mm-hmm. So it seems like it would be getting towards the time.
Okay. Well, the problem with privately held stock is two things. One is you have absolutely no control over the values.
Correct.
None whatsoever. And the second thing is there's no liquidity. You can't get out of it. You have a rare opportunity to get out of it. How much money is this worth, all this stock?
About $175.
Okay. And what's your household income?
About, say, $250.
Wow. Awesome. And do you have any debt?
Nothing.
No mortgage or anything?
No.
Wow, you guys are awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I tell people not to own single stock that is more than a fourth or more than 10% of their net worth, okay? And so I would throw out, if I were in your shoes, I might do something like this. I would liquidate the majority of it. I might leave some in there as just fun money to see what happens.
We currently own probably about $1.6 million of it.
Oh, and you can only get out of 175?
That's in addition to that.
But that's all you're allowed to get out of is the 175?
Correct.
Oh, I'm out of there for sure on all of that then.
Would you really?
Oh, absolutely, 100% of it. You're way too deep into this crap. Unless your net worth's $20 million, is it?
No.
Okay. Yeah,
no.
You're way heavy in something you have no control over at all and no liquidity in. Oh, no, this is really dangerous.
All right.
I'm scared now. Yeah, I'm getting everything I can get out of there down to $100,000 worth then out of this. But you can't get out of anything but 175. So, yeah, I'm definitely cashing in the 175.
Okay.
So your portfolio's out of balance. If you called me and said we're worth $2 million, but we have $1,600,000 in any one company, I'd be having a fit.
Okay.
Because you're not diversified. You got way too much risk by leaning on this one thing. This thing goes down, you're screwed. I mean, you've lost $1 million, because of your lack of diversification. That puts this hour of the Dave Ramsey Show in the books. Our thanks to James Childs, our producer. Blake Thompson's our executive producer. Kelly Daniel is our associate producer and phone screener. I'm Dave Ramsey. We'll be back before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey guys, it's Kelly Daniel, associate producer and phone screener for the Dave Ramsey Show, and you're in with Dave. That's right, if you want to get to Dave, you got to go through me first. Hey, this hour of the show is over, but you can find each 40-minute podcast on iTunes or Google Play. We're everywhere for free.
Hey guys, this is Dave Ramsey reminding you to catch the Dave Ramsey Show live on our YouTube channel weekdays